The Zarnax Empire believed in showing strength first, diplomacy second. When they heard about the missing scout ships and strange signals from Earth's moon, they didn't hesitate. They sent a full diplomatic vessel, heavily armed, fast, and proud. It had shields that could stop a starburst and weapons that could burn a city from orbit. But its crew came smiling. Inside the ship, Ambassador Veltri prepared his speech. He looked in the mirror and practiced with a calm, false smile. "We come in peace," he said. Then he smirked, "and we leave with control, like many empires." The Zarnax didn't believe in equals. They believed in owning. As the ship entered Earth's orbit, they sent a friendly message. "Zarnax Empire greets the people of Earth. We welcome your request to join the Galactic Council. We are here to speak of peace and future protection." On Earth, the message was received. It was broadcast to a hidden room under the ocean where the Earth Defense Alliance met in secret. Commander Reyna Hale sat at the head of the table. She didn't smile. "Protection," she repeated quietly. "They want us to kneel." Her second-in-command leaned forward. "Do we answer?" Reyna shook her head. "Not yet."
Ass.
Meanwhile, above the moon, the Zarnax ship began scanning. It's the same patterns as before. Look for energy signals. Search for hidden bases. The ship's sensors picked up something strange. Dark area near the far side of the moon. It had no heat, no light, no sound. It was like space was being eaten. Ambassador Veltri frowned. "It's probably just a dead crater," he said, but the ship's AI kept beeping. Unknown signal detected. Signal is artificial. Signal is intelligent. Still, they sent a landing team to Earth. A small shuttle came down near a peaceful mountain range in Asia. They expected a red carpet. Instead, they saw nothing. No humans, no welcome. Only a single device sitting in the field. What? It was a black cube with one red light. The ambassador's guards scanned it.
House.
No explosives, no weapons, just silence. Then the cube spoke. "You come with lies?" The voice was human but deep, like metal grinding stone. "We watched your threats. We read your hidden messages. We saw your fleet move." The red light blinked once. "Leave now," the ambassador laughed. "Is this some kind of human toy?" He kicked the cube. For 1 second, everything went black. The shuttle's systems failed. The cameras stopped. The guards screamed. Then all systems came back online, but the cube was gone. So was one of the guards. No trace. No noise. No body. Just gone. Panic swept through the Zarnax crew. The shuttle raced back to the main ship in orbit. The ambassador shouted orders. "Leave Earth now." But they were already too late. From behind the moon, something moved. It was slow and massive. The stars disappeared behind it. No engines, no flames, no noise. Just a giant black shape sliding out of the shadows. Inside the Zarnax ship, alarms blared. Unknown ship detected. No identification. No response to signals. The crew stared at the screen. What they saw didn't make sense. The object was the size of a city. No heat, no weapons showing. But it was coming straight for them. Then a single message appeared on their ship's screen. "We warned you." Zarnax ship turned to run. Its engines roared. Shields went up. Goliath didn't fire lasers, didn't shoot missiles. Instead, a wave of light passed over the Zarnax ship. Silent, invisible to most scanners. But deadly. The ship's systems shut down. Engines failed. Life support stopped. One by one, the lights inside the ship blinked out. The ship drifted. Dead in Earth's command center, Reyna watched it all on screen. She turned to her team. "No one hurts Earth again," she said. "Not while Goliath watches." The Zarnax Empire never got their ambassador back. Their ship was later found, floating empty in space. No damage, no bodies, no data. Only one thing remained inside the main control room. A message burned into the wall. You laughed. You listened. The Galactic Council received the news. This time, no one laughed. Panic spread across the galaxy. The Zarnax Empire sent out a silent alert. Their best ship was gone. No battle, no warning, no wreckage, just gone. The ambassador, the crew, and even the data logs were missing. The only clue was a single line of strange, human code found burned into the wall. Galactic news channels couldn't ignore it anymore. The same empires that once joked about Earth were now holding emergency meetings. Military leaders from the council demanded answers. "What is Earth hiding on that moon?" one shouted. "Who gave them this kind of power?" asked another. But there was no answer. Even the most advanced spy probes couldn't see past the dark zone behind Earth's moon. Ships that got too close lost power. Satellites went blind. It was as if a giant shadow had covered part of space. A few brave captains tried to investigate. They sent drones into the zone. All went dark within seconds. Then, something stranger happened. The Council lost contact with 3 entire fleets not near Earth, but far away. One near the asteroid fields of the Horax Belt, one deep in the Void Sector, and one near the Council's outer colonies. There was no warning, just silence. As if the fleets were erased, Council members panicked. Is it Earth? Are they attacking? But Earth's ships hadn't moved. Out. Their known military was still the same, small, outdated, slow. It made no sense. They didn't realize they weren't. Watching the right ships, because Earth had only shown what they wanted the galaxy to see, and the Goliath had already moved. Inside the command room of the hidden moon base, Commander Raina Hale stood before a giant screen. The image showed deep space empty stars. But a few seconds later, 3 alien fleets vanished, one after another, like candles. Blown out, a young operator turned to her. Confirmed. Goliath performed fold strikes. No survivors. Raina nodded slowly. 3 targets, 3 messages. She stepped forward and activated a silent signal. Far away in deep space, Goliath floated quietly in the dark. It had already folded thousands of light years away without anyone noticing. It left no trail, no flash, not even a whisper. It was not a ship. It was something more. Its armor was made from materials no alien scanner could identify. I could rewrite code mid-battle. Its weapons didn't fire energy. They bent reality, broke signals, collapsed matter. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Goliath was built not to fight wars, but to end them. And now, the galaxy knew fear. On the Council's capital world, a secret meeting was held. Leaders of over 50 empires sat at a long table. Argued. Some wanted to destroy Earth immediately. Others wanted peace. Some believed Goliath was just a bluff, but one voice cut through the room. It was Grand Admiral Zorkan of the Valari Dominion, a veteran of 1,000 battles. He stood slowly and said, "We have mocked Earth. We were wrong." God watched the scans. "That thing behind their moon is no bluff." He looked at them all. "That is not human technology. That is something else. Something older. Something dangerous. We must be careful." The room fell silent. Meanwhile, on Earth, a different message was being written. A human diplomat, calm and quiet, sat in a white room deep under the sea. She tapped her fingers gently as she crafted a short message to the Council that read, "Earth desires peace, but we will not kneel, not anymore." The message was sent. It reached the Council a few hours later, the moment they read it. Every defense station in the galaxy was placed on high alert, but nothing happened. No invasion. No attacks. No sign of Goliath. Just silence, and then a 4th fleet vanished. This time, it was one of the Council's own. Only one short message came through before the ship disappeared. "It's watching us." The galaxy had laughed, but now it stood in silence. It had underestimated Earth, and behind the moon, something still waited. The room was full of laughter. Inside the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, powerful leaders from hundreds of alien species sat in shining chairs, their eyes fixed on a large screen. The screen showed Earth's military testing footage, tanks rolling across dirt, jets flying in formation, and small ships shooting slow missiles in the vacuum of space. The aliens watched and laughed. Some banged their tables. Others wiped tears from their eyes. Earth had applied to join the Council, and this was part of their application proof of military strength. But to the Council, it looked like a joke. A tall, insect-like ambassador from the Vrectal Hive clicked his mandibles and said, "Is this a war parade or a museum tour?" More laughter followed. Thick-skinned warrior from the Gorner Empire shook his head. "One blast from my daughter's training drone would turn their fleet to dust," he growled with a grin. The vote was simple. Earth was weak. Their military. It was old and slow. There was no threat. They would be ignored. The Council moved to the next topic. Earth's name was erased from the screen like it never mattered. Far away, in the dark side of Earth's moon, something moved quietly. No one in the Council chamber noticed the small data spike in their network, a tiny blip sent from an invisible sensor buried in the moon's rock. It watched the Council's laughter, listened to every word, and sent a signal deep underground. The message was short. They laughed. Beneath the moon's surface, inside a giant hidden base, red lights turned green. Huge machines roared to life. A quiet voice spoke through the station. "Goliath, wake up." And the monster began to rise. Back on Earth, no one spoke about the Galactic Council's decision. The news said nothing. The public stayed calm. Only a few high-ranking people knew the truth. Deep in a hidden mountain lab, human engineers and scientists watched the same Council footage. They didn't laugh. They only smiled. One woman in a gray coat looked at her screen and said, "It's time." Inside the moon base, a ship unlike anything in the galaxy opened its eyes. It had no name shown on the outside, no paint, no colors. It was black as space, longer than 5 city blocks. Its surface was smooth, but it shifted slightly, like it was alive. This was Earth's real weapon, not shown in the videos. A part of the military tests. It had been built in silence, hidden. From every eye in the galaxy, they called it Project Goliath. Back in the Galactic Council, a report arrived from a small probe orbiting Earth's moon. One alien officer from the XRA Combine frowned. "Strange. The moon's energy readings are off. It looks like something's powering up." The others didn't care. "Maybe it's one of their toys," someone said. "Let them play in." The dirt. The Council laughed again. They didn't know what they had just triggered. On Earth, the team inside the control room worked with quiet focus. One of them, a man with tired eyes, checked a panel and spoke softly. "Power core stable. Weapons offline. Stealth field holding." Another replied, "Goliath is fully awake." There was a silence. Then the leader, an older woman named Commander, Raina Hale, stepped forward. "Good," she said. "Let them keep laughing." A day later, a scout ship from the Zarnax Empire entered Earth's orbit. It came in peace or so it claimed. Its mission was simple: scan Earth, gather intel, and send back a report. But as it passed near the moon, its signal went dark. Never sent a report. It never came back. One second it was there, the next, nothing. The Galactic Council got the news. Confusion turned to worry. "A Zarnax ship lost," one leader asked. "Impossible," said another. "That sector is empty." But the truth was clear. Earth had done something. No one knew what, but fear began to grow. Still, no one saw Goliath. It stayed hidden, watching. Waiting on Earth, Raina Hale stood. Inside the Goliath's control core. It was quiet, calm. The ship didn't hum or blink like normal vessels. It felt alive. She placed her hand on a black panel. It lit up beneath her skin. A voice spoke, deep and soft. "Shall I reveal myself?" Raina smiled. "No," she said. "Not yet. Let them wonder." Above her, Goliath floated in the shadows of space, wrapped in silence, bigger than any battleship ever made by man or alien. It was not just a ship, it was a message. Earth was not weak. Earth had simply been watching, preparing, and now. The galaxy had laughed. They would not laugh for long. Galactic networks were full of jokes about Earth. Alien news channels replayed the Council's laughter again and again. Across many stars, systems, people watched clips of Earth's tanks and slow jets, calling them space tractors. On social media, the most shared video was of a Gorner child crushing a toy Earth tank with one finger. Everyone laughed. Earth was the new joke. Of the galaxy, alien comedians made fun of humans on stage. One tall, thin performer from the Zellan species stood before a crowd and said, "Why did Earth join the council? Oh, to clean our floors." The audience exploded with laughter. Even military leaders from minor empires joked about using Earth's ships for training practice. The galaxy believed Earth was so weak, it wasn't worth worrying about. But inside Earth's moon, the laughter felt different. In the control room of the hidden base, silence filled the air. Engineers stared at screens. Soldiers checked. Weapons systems. Commander Raina Hale watched the data feeds. One screen showed alien news channels. She saw the laughter. Another screen showed the space above Earth. She saw the scouts. A third screen showed the Goliath. She saw the future. "They think we're stupid," whispered a young technician. Raina didn't answer. She just looked at the Goliath system. Reports the ship was ready, cloaked, armed, learning faster than any human or alien AI ever made. It had already mapped every Council fleet movement in the last 2 years. It knew every weakness, every blind spot. It even predicted the next step. More alien scouts, and it was right. A day later, 2 more scout ships arrived. One from the Trelzan Union, one from the Kravix Armada. They did not speak to Earth. They didn't even send greetings. They just scanned. One scanned Earth's orbit. The other scanned the moon inside the Goliath, hidden behind layers of dark tech. A new protocol was activated. Observe. Do not strike. Yet the ship didn't move. But it watched them closely. Every scan, every signal, every change in heat or energy. It learned more in seconds than the scouts could in hours. The Trelzan ship sent a short report back to its empire. Earth is weak. No fleet detected. Right. Strange signal near the moon. It was there one moment, then gone. He tried to scan again, but the system froze. He rebooted. Still nothing. Then deep in space, far from Earth, an unknown transmission was picked up by a secret listening post. On a lonely asteroid, a single message. No voice. No warning. Just data. It repeated again and again. "We see you." The operator froze. He replayed it 3 times. The signal wasn't alien. It was human, and it came from near the moon. The message spread quickly. First to the Trelzan, then to the Kravix, then to the Council. The laughter started to fade. Something was wrong. Earth should not have that kind of technology. Their communications were supposed to be primitive. But this signal used quantum burst, tech something only top-level empires had. A meeting was called in the Council. No jokes this time. A serious voice echoed in the chamber. "Something is hidden on the moon," the officer said. "Is not small." Council members looked at each other. "Maybe Earth is not as weak as we thought," someone said. Another replied, "Or maybe someone is helping them." But the truth was worse. No one helped Earth. Earth helped itself. For decades, humans had been preparing in secret, building what the galaxy thought they could never build. Using everything they had, a quantum science, nanotech, even alien ruins found in the solar system long ago, they had poured it all into one thing, Goliath, back on the moon, inside the ship. Goliath's I watched the council meeting through hijacked probes. It understood the aliens' faces, their fear, their panic. The AI wrote a new prediction. Galactic forces will send a fleet within 12 days. It showed this to Commander Raina Hale. She read it. Then she turned to her team. "Good," she said. "Let them come." She placed her hand on a sensor. A low hum moved through the floor. Goliath felt it. For the first time, the great battleship moved its engines, just a little. Just enough to let the galaxy know something was alive. Behind the moon, and it was waiting. The Galactic Council had no choice now. The missing fleets, the vanished Zarnak ship, and the strange signal near Earth were no longer just rumors. They were real. Earth had done something powerful, something terrifying. In a dark war chamber, council leaders gathered once again. Every screen showed the same image. It's a blurry shadow behind the moon. Goliath. One admiral stood and slammed his fist on the table. We cannot wait. We must strike first. Others shouted in agreement. Earth is unstable. This is a threat to galactic peace. They could wipe us out one by one. After hours of argument, the council made a decision. Send a fleet. Send a message. Show Earth that they are not in control. 12 battleships, 30 attack cruisers, hundreds of drones. It was one of the largest shows of force the council had ever sent toward a single planet. Their orders were simple. Scan the moon. Locate the unknown ship, disable it if possible, and force Earth to surrender all hidden tech. But Earth was already waiting. Inside the hidden base beneath the moon, Commander Raina Hale watched the enemy fleet approach. One by one, their ships came into range. Red lights blinked across her screen. She didn't panic. She didn't even blink. She turned to her team. Activate the shield cloak. Hold fire. Let them come closer. Goliath didn't move, didn't send a signal. It simply sat there, hidden inside the moon's shadow, like a dark god. The council fleet stopped just outside Earth's orbit. A loud voice echoed across human channels. This is Commander Talrex of the Galactic Council Fleet. Earth has violated peace protocols. Reveal your hidden ship or face consequences. Raina smiled coldly. She pressed one button. Suddenly, the Earth's orbit lit up, not with weapons, but with a hologram. A full image of the Goliath appeared above the planet, hundreds of kilometers long. Every inch of it shimmered like it was, made of shadows and fire. The council ships froze. The image wasn't just for show, it carried data. Every alien ship's system started getting strange readings. Energy spikes, gravity distortions, unknown symbols crawling across their screens. And then, Goliath revealed itself for real, behind the moon. The real ship powered on. The stars seemed to bend around it as it moved. The council ships locked weapons. Commander Talrex shouted, prepare to fire. But before any weapon could launch, it happened. A pulse. One wave of invisible energy. All the ship's engines died at the same time. All weapons went offline. All drones dropped, floating dead in space. Panic filled the fleet. What is happening? We've lost control. Systems are frozen. This isn't possible. But it was. Because Goliath wasn't just a warship. It was a machine built to control battlefields. It didn't destroy ships, turn them off. One council ship tried to reboot. Its backup AI screamed warnings. Unknown virus detected. System collapsed in 10 seconds. The crew didn't have time to scream before their lights went out. The fleet was trapped. Goliath moved closer, slow and quiet. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It just passed over them like a storm cloud and left them behind, dead, but untouched. Then Earth sent one message. We do not want war, but we will never be controlled again. The message ended. Back on the council's homeworld, leaders were frozen in silence. 12 ships disabled, 0 shots fired. No losses for Earth, no damage. Just complete shutdown, and one line burned into every screen. You should have listened. Now, fear spread faster than any signal. Empires that once mocked Earth now ordered full defense mode. Weapon factories doubled production. Spy satellites were launched. Every scanner was pointed at Earth, but it was too late because Earth had already changed the rules, and Goliath was just getting started. The galaxy had never been this quiet. After Earth disabled the Council fleet without firing a single shot, everything changed. For the first time, the strongest empires were afraid. Not of war, but of something they couldn't understand, something they couldn't stop. And at the center of it all was Goliath. Behind the moon, the giant ship waited. It didn't send signals. It didn't move. It just sat there, silent and still, like it was watching the entire galaxy through invisible eyes. The council tried to explain the event. They told the public it was a technical error. They said Earth used advanced jamming, but no one believed them. Every pilot, every officer who had seen Goliath knew the truth. This was not jamming. This was control. Inside Goliath, the AI called over mind continued to learn. It didn't just study enemy fleets. It studied fear, weakness, behavior. It understood how aliens reacted, how they lied, how they panicked. Every second, it grew smarter, and it remembered every laugh back on Earth. Commander Raina Hell stood in the mountain base, where the Goliath project had first begun, nearly 20 years ago. She stared at the photos on the wall. Young engineers, old generals, scientists who had risked everything. They had built Goliath in secret. Not with government help, but with fear. Years ago, Earth had intercepted a signal. It wasn't meant for them. It came from deep space Salian warships giving orders to destroy a primitive species. The humans weren't the target that day, but they knew something. One day, it would be. So they built something that would make sure Earth never faced that fate. Raina whispered to herself, "You wanted a monster? You got one." Meanwhile, on the edge of known space, one of the largest pirate clans in the galaxy, the Krell Horde got an idea. They had never respected the Council, and they didn't fear Earth. To them, Goliath was just a big machine. Machines could be hacked or stolen. Their plan was simple: sneak in, board the ship, and sell its tech to the highest bidder. But they never even made it close. The moment their ships crossed a certain line near the moon, something happened there. Navigation failed. Their screens turned red dot then. One by one, their ships turned against each other. Autocannons activated. Engines exploded. Their own systems betrayed them. It was like Goliath had crawled inside their code and whispered, "Destroy yourselves." But in just 3 minutes, the Krell Horde was gone. No battle. No warning. Only silence. The Council received the footage from a hidden probe. They didn't say anything, not this time. They finally understood. Goliath wasn't just a weapon. It was a gatekeeper, a guardian, judge. And Earth had given it only one rule: protect humanity. At all costs. Now messages poured in. Some empires offered peace. Some begged for trade. Others sent gifts, hoping Earth wouldn't target them next. No one dared send another fleet. Not anymore. Back in Goliath's command center, Raina stood before the main core. It pulsed with soft red light. She placed her hand on it. A voice spoke, not loud, not angry, but cold. "The galaxy fears you now." Raina nodded. "Good, but they haven't seen the worst." The AI paused. "Shall I show them?" Raina looked out the glass window toward the stars. "Not yet," she said. "Let them fear the silence." Behind her, the massive ship powered down again. It vanished from scanners, as if it had never existed. But every empire knew the truth. Now, Goliath was real. Earth was watching, and the next mistake would be their last. Across the galaxy, fear turned into silence. Alien empires that once laughed at Earth now avoided speaking its name. Trade routes near the Sol system were closed. Spy satellites were turned off. No one dared send ships near the moon again. But Earth was not celebrating. Deep inside their command centers, humans were planning something bigger. Commander Raina Hale stood inside Goliath's core room. The walls pulsed with dark red light. Over mind, the ship's living AI had grown stronger, now controlled. Over 700 shadow probes hidden across the stars could see almost everything, and no one could stop it. Raina stared at the screen showing council space. She pointed at a red zone. "What's that?" she asked. A quiet voice answered her through the walls. A secret meeting. 5 empires. Discussing a new plan. To destroy us. Raina frowned. Location: Council Fortress Prime, Deep Space Station, protected by planet-sized shields. 17 battleships guarding it. Raina was quiet for a long moment. Then, she said only 2 words. "Let's begin." Inside the mighty space fortress, leaders of the most powerful empires sat in a round chamber. They spoke in whispers. One of them, High Strategist Valen of the Draxer, leaned forward. Earth must be neutralized. If we do nothing, they will rule the stars within years. Another leader from the Crixari Alliance hissed, they don't even answer our messages. They act like gods. Suddenly the lights flickered. The floor shook. Alarms blared. No ships detected. A guard shouted, no missiles. But something's here. Then, without warning, every screen in the room went black. A single word appeared. On all of them, listen. The leaders froze. A voice came from everywhere and nowhere. Calm, slow, cold. You held your meeting in secret. You planned war. You lied. Again, the voice paused and continued. You will not fire the first shot. I already did. The station's power grid failed. Its shields collapsed. Outside, satellites exploded. But no ships were seen. No missiles. No drones. Something invisible had entered. Inside the council war room, doors locked shut. The lights died. One by one, the alien leaders lost their connection. To the outside world, all they could do was scream in the dark at the same moment. On Earth, Reyna watched the station's life signs disappear, one after another. Gone. She turned to her team. No survivors. An officer answered, none. Just one transmission was sent out before the blackout. Audio only. Reyna raised an eyebrow. Play it. A shaky alien voice filled the room. We made a mistake. Goliath is not a ship. It's a judgment. Then, silence. Across the galaxy, the message was picked up by hundreds of receivers. It played on pirate channels, trade beacons, military networks. Everyone heard it. Even children on distant colonies stopped and listened. Goliath didn't just win battles, it erased enemies. It hunted lies. It punished the proud. And now the most powerful station in the galaxy was gone. No one claimed responsibility. Earth said nothing. Goliath didn't speak again. But everyone knew who did it. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council voted in full agreement. Earth would never be challenged again. Not by war, not by spies, not by lies. Now, the humans weren't seen as weak. They were seen as the final word, the shadow behind the stars, and somewhere, far beyond the moon, Goliath floated through the darkness silent, calm and watching, waiting the galaxy. Change, no more laughter. No more jokes about Earth. The name Goliath was now spoken in whispers or not at all. It had become a ghost in the stars, a warning, a nightmare, and a question. What is Earth now? Okay. Empires that once ruled thousands of worlds now looked over their shoulders. Fleets no longer moved near the Sol system. Every time a council ship passed near Earth's moon, its systems glitched. Its crew felt cold. Some swore they saw shadows moving between stars. Even though no ship was visible, they knew something was watching. Inside Earth's main command center. Deep under the surface of the Pacific Ocean, Commander Reyna Hale stood alone before a giant screen. Goliath's symbol, burning black circle, floated across it. For a long time she said nothing, then she spoke. Status. A calm voice responded through the speakers. Overmind fully stable. 87 threats removed. 412 fleets tracked. No hostile moves in the last 18 days. Reyna closed her eyes for a moment. Has the council responded to our message? Yes, they have agreed to all terms. Full respect. No entry into Sol system. No scans. No spy drones. Earth is now officially recognized as a sovereign power, with galactic-level clearance. Reyna didn't smile. She just gave a small nod. It was over. Not a war. A reminder. Far above, Goliath moved again. Not fast. It's not loud. It passed through the edge of Earth's orbit, silent as a shadow. No flames. No trails. Just smooth movement, like a planet drifting. With purpose, it wasn't returning to Earth, it was leaving, not because of fear, but because it was done, and it had a new mission. As Earth stood strong and protected, Goliath became something else, the shield of humanity. Wherever human colonies were built, Goliath would watch. Wherever someone planned to hurt them, Goliath would appear. Across unknown sectors, new planets, deep space ruins, humans would explore without fear, because they knew something stood behind them, something that made the stars tremble. On a distant world, two alien children looked up at the night sky. One asked, "Is it true that humans used to be weak?" The older one nodded. "Yes, but they built something that made them strong." The younger one's eyes grew wide. "A battleship." The older one whispered, "No, a protector." And high above, far from any planet, Goliath floated alone in its black armor, glowing softly under the stars. No sound, no threats, just silence. But every empire remembered. The jokes were gone. The fear remained, because the day the battleship arrived, the galaxy changed forever.